All right, so I've been working on something here with, my driver, okay, and taking a look at it with all the new Mevo Pro Plus numbers, and so I'm going to make a change based off of one thing that is new and actually really exciting, and I think pretty awesome. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you. Today we're going to talk about some swing acceleration profiles. This is something, admittedly, it's newer for me. It's something I've looked at a little bit in the past, but I haven't looked at it a ton because it's more of a fitting thing, and actually really excited to have it. It's something I just didn't do in the past because, you didn't have all the options to fit and all that, so I would just send people off to go get fit. Here, though, now we can start kind of taking looks and saying, hey, let's do things. And with the way that companies like, Sub 70 now work, you can actually make some determinations and then just get things changed out rather quickly and get a little test. So let's get into that and talk a little bit more about it. If you're interested in giving a Mevo Plus on your own, make sure you check out the link down below. That does help out the channel. Also, check out Instagram. We are doing a giveaway for a Mevo Plus holder. Make sure you head over there and see how you can win. We also are doing some more Garmin R10 holders. I have those as well. So look for the post with each of those holders, and you're going to be able to see how you have to enter to win whichever holder you are trying to get. All right, so I've been looking at this picture for the last couple of days and kind of thinking about things. So I went ahead and with the Mevo Pro Plus, I hit some drivers. Now at the time of this recording, I was doing this on Awesome Golf because the FS Golf version of the swing acceleration profiles is not quite there yet. That's coming in an update actually in just a couple days, but Awesome Golf has had this available pretty much, since they started the software. I just never had it used, right? So it was just always sitting there blank. But now we get to start looking at it. And what I'm finding is I've kind of noticed a couple of things with some of my longer clubs. So you might recall I went and got fit and I went and visited Sub 70 a couple of months ago. That would have been in September. And so I ended up went there to get new irons and new wedges. And I have absolutely loved those. Those have been right on the money, getting the ball flight I want, getting the feel. Everything just feels awesome with those. Okay. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go with the driver. I'm going to actually go with the 3-wood. And, I've basically got the whole bag now. But one of the things that we talked about then was going with the shaft. Okay, so I ended up with this Hazardous Smoke. Okay, this is a Project X shaft. This is a 6.5, which is for their wood shafts, would kind of qualify as an extra stiff. It's also a 70-gram shaft, which for me is a little bit heavier. And so we decided on going with this combination with this Pro head. Okay, so this is their 849 Pro head. Couple of things I wanted to try to do. One, I wanted to be able to get the ball to get down a little bit. I was getting the ball to balloon a little bit, and I wasn't feeling super comfortable with how I was driving it. The other thing is we were expecting that I would be gaining club head speed. So we're kind of fitting for the future. Now, my speed has gone up. I'm getting up there closer, to 110-ish, 109. You can see on this particular swing, it was 106. So it's gotten up there. But one of the things that has happened is I've just not felt like I've been able to get anything out of the driver. Okay. And so that led me to believe, everything felt good. Everything was feeling good, but the same thing was happening with my 3-wood. And then I have a 2-iron and they actually have the exact same shafts in it. And it felt like things weren't happening how I would like them to. So we take a look at the swing acceleration profile then. Let's see, all right, hey, how's it going with, are you getting the shaft to load, things like that. So as I look at this, one of the things that you can look at is, you can see kind of consistently throughout a few swings here, but notice how as we're coming into the golf ball, you would typically see this shaft, this kind of line here, if you have a shaft that is more fit properly for you, be a little bit more linear, kind of going more diagonally here. And what you see here is it's very vertical, and then it's also dropping rapidly going into the golf ball. So what that's telling me is, when you have a golf shaft, okay, you have a shaft, they bend. And in my swing, I really am just not getting it to bend and then unload. So that's a big deal to getting you a little bit extra distance, a little bit extra speed as you're going through. So I want to see what happens when I go with a lighter shaft. And that's going to tell me that I need to kind of get something a little softer that I can get to flex a little bit. And we'll go from there. So the good thing is, we'll call up Sub 70. We're going to let them know, hey, I would like to try something a little bit softer. No problem, no fee. They're going to send it out. So let's get on that. And then when it gets here, we're going to test it out. All right, so we just dropped those off. Gonna get them all changed out. 5 minutes in and out, get the specs in. They'll order those up. Actually, they have it all, so they'll build them up. And it's gonna ship out in like 2 days. So I don't have to wait for them until they build them. They'll just send them back. They are awesome. All right, so we've got the new shaft in here. This is from Sub 70. You saw they sent it back. 6.0 now in this smoke shaft. So I'm interested to see this shaft because this is the same flex as a G30 shaft I have, the T1100. Now, that shaft is a little bit overall kind of more of a stout shaft than the smoke shafts are. So we're going to kind of have to look at it, and then again, when you're doing this stuff, it's really just playing around. It's really all we're doing. So we're going to test it out. Let's see where we get to making the shaft adjustment. So we'll hit a few drives here. Let's see what we get. Okay. So when we come over here to take a look, okay, so this shaft profile is different than what I had with the 6.5. The 6.5 was very vertical, and it had this little drop off at the end where basically the acceleration of it just goes out the window, right? And so what that's telling us is that that shaft is too stiff. I'm not getting it to flex and load up. And then what ends up happening is I'm just not getting a little bit extra speed there at the end of that, at the end of the swing. So for me, the one thing I'm going to look at there is, all right, is this a good one for me? Well, we might have actually gone a little bit to the far end of everything. And so you can see this shaft is now kind of getting a little bit wobbly. And what's happening there is I might be actually loading the shaft a little bit too much as we go through, okay? So what's gonna happen is it might be a little bit harder to control. It might also be a little bit spinny, which is what I was trying to get out of in the first place, which was, hey, I want less spin. That's why we went to that 6.5. And we're also in a little bit of a heavier shaft with this driver. So what we're gonna do is let's try out the T1100 that I have from the G30. So we'll go ahead, I'm gonna grab that. Okay, so this is another hazardous shaft that they have. So let's see what we can do. Got my T. Okay. Now you can see that one was on a little bit of a wild ride as well. So, I'm probably somewhere in between. I might even maybe go 6.0, but even maybe a touch heavier. That could be it. Now, obviously we want to try a couple and let's see what we're getting.
So let's do it again. You know, that feels like I hit that pretty good. So you can see, I mean, it's getting straighter out. You can see I had like a little pause, I felt like there. Something I've been kind of working on as we go. But you can see that one's fairly straightish as we're going through. But definitely something we would want to look at. And in doing this, I've noticed my smash going up a little bit, getting up to like 1.45, 1.46 with the driver, where I used to struggle to get over like 1.41, 1.42. Again, I think a lot just because of that acceleration. So, you know, again, might be something I might try switching this shaft. Since I already have the shaft, I don't need to send it to sub 70. I can just swap them out. But again, thanks to sub 70 for taking back the 3 clubs. I've actually done this with my 3-wood and my 2-iron as well. Because those clubs are a little shorter, you don't swing them nearly as fast as this club, so they have a little bit different profiles. Those actually have come out really, really well. But just what the game that we're playing, we kind of got to decide what we'd rather have. For me, because I'm looking for a little bit more yards and stuff, I definitely want one that's going to have a little kick to it. But the balancing line is I don't want to lose control of that golf ball. So we got to be careful with that. But really cool stuff you can mess around with the acceleration profiles. If you have questions about it, please comment down below. As always, click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.